And that's a great point. I'm glad, and that's a perfect segue, Slimer. It's like, so, and this is what I want to talk about the fan reaction to this today, because, and I think the fan reaction actually does a disservice to Universal. Actually, I'm actually going to be kind of like, kind of sticking up, I guess you would call it, maybe for Universal. I woke up this morning to all this amazing news coming from Universal. I mean, the stuff we're seeing, we went through today, looks amazing, absolutely incredible. And 80% of my timeline was not even about necessarily what Universal showed us. It was more about what's Disney's response going to be? What's Disney's response going to be? And I'm like, that's why when I see all these YouTube channels or these creators or even these fans and they talk about Disney's irrelevant, they're dead. They're dead in the water. Universal's the new king in town. Like, I don't see it, because even when Universal drops amazing stuff, they're handing you gold right now. It's still about the fucking Mouse House. What's Disney? The whole day today on Twitter was about Disney's response to this. It's not even about Universal's, and that's the thing that's sad. It's not even like, that's the thing. I almost feel like Universal puts their heart in, and they put a lot of money and all this stuff into this stuff.
Right.
And it's still about Disney. And it's like, that's a shame. As much as I love Disney and I have that bias for Disney, it's like, I do think this deserves more than that. But that's the thing. When people say, well, Disney's irrelevant, well, it's like, really, is it? Because even when Universal has an amazing day, all we're talking about on Twitter is about Disney still. This has nothing to do with Disney. Can we just give Universal the praise and love for doing a great thing instead of it always being about the Mouse House? And I feel a lot of the conversation today on Twitter was about the Mouse House. But what do you think about it? You were on Twitter today a little bit. Did you see that, or am I?
Yeah, no, dude, you're absolutely right. Because it's like, guys, be excited and happy for what your favorite theme park of Universal is doing, right? It's like, why is this going back to Disney? And I feel like the past, ever since like 2018, 2019, for sure 2020, everybody, because I get, Disney has done a lot of missteps, for sure, right? A lot of mistakes. But I feel like there's this kind of like thing going around where people are actively wanting the Mouse House to go down. Right. Let them fail, let them burn down. They deserve it. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, guys, well, that's not cool, dude. And so people are wanting Universal to do good. No, I think we all want to, because it's good for the theme parks. Right. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, just enjoy what your theme park for Universal is putting out. Like, be happy about it.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like, I'm a Disney person, and I make no bones about that. I'm not going to apologize for that. You can call me a pixie duster. I really don't give a fuck if you call me a pixie duster or any shill, whatever you want to call me. Right? I don't really care. I like what I like, But here's the thing. It's like, when it comes to this stuff, it's like, when I go on Twitter and I see Universal being used as like a catalyst to like attack the thing that I have a passion for. So it's like Universal, like, oh, awesome job, Universal. This is amazing. It's always like, Universal's always used, it's like weaponized to like shit on Disney. It's like, that's not, as a Disney fan, as a Disney fan, that doesn't encourage me to go over to Universal. It makes me resent Universal, right? Like I like Universal. I have a good time at Universal, but when the fans are using that, using Universal as a way to attack the thing that I have a passion for, you're not an ambassador for Universal. You're not a good brand ambassador. You're turning me off to the brand. This has nothing to do with Universal itself. The fans do a lot of fans, not all of them, but a lot of fans do a huge disservice to Universal when you do that, because as a Disney person, we don't want to hear how crappy Universal is. I mean, how crappy Disney is, and you're utilizing Universal to shit on my thing. Sell me Universal without shitting on the Mouse House, and I will be more inclined to go to Universal. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's just my thing, but I see a lot of the opposite. It's like, oh, see, Universal's doing this and Disney's doing that, and ha ha ha, Disney sucks. It's like, you're not winning me over as a Disney fan.
Yeah, no, I see that all over YouTube constantly, dude. Like YouTube, Twitter, like people just shitting on like Disney all the time. Oh, Universal's doing that. Universal's doing this, and it's like the theme too with with Disney responding, right? Like, okay, I get it. We got to have theme park competition, right? But at the same time, though, I think that I don't always want Disney to constantly be just responding to everything, right? Responding to fans, responding to theme parks. It's like, have the competition, but also compete with yourself. Do yourself better.
Right. No, exactly. No, well said. But like, because you don't want to get. This is the thing too, right? You don't want to lead from behind. You don't want to constantly react, and that's what this one. Every company is different. Look, Disney doesn't really have to necessarily respond to Universal because Universal is actually responding to Disney right now
Right.
with a third park. Universal's playing catch up. They're
Right.
trying to get to Disney World's level right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we've said that here in older shows. Universal's still trying to get on Disney level. This is their third theme park. Disney has four, not kind of the water parks, you know what I mean? But there's this false dichotomy between Disney and Universal. Disney fans that take the air out of the room, you know, saying, "Hey, Disney, what are you going to do to respond to Universal?" It creates this false dichotomy. These people are talking like they're shareholders within the company, and their stocks are about to go down if Disney doesn't do something about it right now. And that's crazy to me because as somebody that enjoys Universal and Disney, yeah, I want Disney to respond, but like take your time, come
And
up
do
with
it the right way.
do it the right way and do something great and do something unique and do something that's Disney. I don't
Yeah.
want something to do something that's universal just because the thing is like you said, when people are leading from behind, then you get products like you know, no offense to anybody that loves this movie. I like it, but Rise of Skywalker was a direct response to the criticisms and the demands that people made of the things they didn't like of The Last Jedi. And what happened? They gave you exactly what you wanted, and you're just like, nah, I don't want that. You know what I mean? So this like I don't want to call it spoiled brat mentality, but this nagging that Disney has to do something, but that's
Yeah.
like not even the case, man. Like I enjoy both these parks. You know what I mean? This isn't like a, you know, this isn't what do you call it?
Like an either or situation.
An either or situation here. It's not like, oh, Disney wins or Universal wins. Like it's so tribal. It's weird, dude. Like, what are these companies at war? You know, how many Disney Imagineers, like, you know, like Jim Scholl and other Imagineers posted on X today. They're like, hey, congratulations to Universal Creatives on
Yeah.
something amazing. You know what I mean? The
Right.
Imagineers aren't acting like the Disney fans. They're the ones that work on these projects. So why are
Right.
the Disney fans acting like this?
Yeah,
You know
and,
what I
and
mean?
these companies help each other. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it. Iger and Brian Roberts, they probably do hate each other, but the companies don't. They have a working relationship on many levels. Disney films a lot of their stuff. Disney's films, TV shows, what have you, are filmed on the Universal lot here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Believe me, Universal doesn't want the Mouse House to collapse. If Disney went down, it would hurt Universal in Florida too. It would hurt them even in Hollywood. Like these companies thrive on each other. I'm telling you, the lead up to Super Mario World opening or Super Nintendo World opening here in California, I was hearing the constant drumbeat from fans on Twitter. Oh, just wait till that land opens. Disneyland's done. Not only did it not hurt Disneyland was outperforming Disney World in the last couple of quarterly earnings calls.
Yeah,
Despite the fact that Nintendo World opened, it actually probably helped Disneyland. You know what I'm saying? And it probably will help Walt Disney World too to some degree.
Yeah, and apparently people aren't going to the Disney parks. Like, I don't know what's this whole thing where like, you know, people are like, I'm not going to Disney anymore. Well, you know what? There's thousands of other people who are going to take your spot, dude. You know?
Yeah. People are going to Disney. I was there with Ebba. Like we were there like last week, and I was there again on Saturday, and it was packed both days. I mean, it's like these parks are busy. Like the normies are not invested in your stupid culture war like you are. Like that's the thing. Like people, it's so easy, and believe me, it takes a lot for me too because I'm in this world. This is a bubble, pretty hardcore, you know, with the Twitter thing and even like the YouTube stuff. It takes a lot though. You have to really separate yourself because you can really get high on your own farts. You know what I'm saying? And I think I think the community kind of does that a little bit because like the boot on the ground stuff, the parks are busy now. Slimer, you were actually at Disney World with the Italiano recently. Were the parks like empty or were they kind of robust or how were the crowds over there on your coast?
Dude, it was fucking packed, dude. I mean, Slinky Dog Dash had a 130-minute wait. Yeah, Smugglers Run. Smugglers Run 80 minutes. You know, I mean, these it was packed. It wasn't Christmas packed. but it was like, 3.5 out of 5 packed. You know what I mean? I sent you that picture of when we were getting out of Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a parade,
We were
right?
walking. Yeah, and we were walking in a festival of fantasy, and it was just a swath of people, and you're just like, this has got to be some kind of a safety hazard. You know what I mean? Because there's just so many people. But like I was telling George when we were in Orlando, there's armchair theme park Disney. There's armchair Disney, armchair thing. We talk about it, right? And they're just doing it organically. Like you can't conflate the two. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're two totally different ways of experiencing and talking about the parks. And the best way to do it, the only true way to do it, is organically. If all you're doing is armchair philosophizing about, oh, what's Disney going to do, what their crowds are, and you're not there, I'm sorry, your opinions are not as valid. They just
Right.
aren't. You're not boots on ground. You're not seeing what's happening. And I see it all the time. Like I see comments like, Galaxy's Edge is nothing but dust bowls. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you think families coming from Brazil care that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is not based off of the original trilogy? Fuck no. They walk in, they see the Millennium Falcon, they shit their pants, and then they go have the awesomest time of their lives. That's the reality. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like the same thing we talked about where like the IP matters to some degree, but when you create a good experience, it doesn't, like people will kind of overlook it, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people don't like Avatar, but they still love Pandora. My ex-girlfriend, she hates Star Wars. Okay. I know. She hated it. She absolutely hated Star Wars.
Well, she's an expert reason.
Right, exactly, right? But she hated Star Wars, and it's like, but one of her favorite rides was Rise of the Resistance. Like, this stuff is like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of fans don't get that. They think I think a lot of fans, hardcore fans, think they're like everyone else is as hardcore as they are. Like the soccer mom cares as much about woke Disney as they do. They don't care. Not to say it's not an issue to some degree, but they don't care as much as you do.
So exactly right. It's like that we live in this like smaller bubble, our own little fandom universe, right? But then sometimes we forget that like there's this bigger universe of all the normies out there that don't really give a shit about the culture wars or about whether the Galaxy's Edge is the sequel trilogy, right? Like they don't care about that stuff. We do, but they don't. And I think that's what these theme parks are kind of gearing towards more of the normies, because that's all the crowds that come to the parks, right? And then on the topic of Universal being on Disney's level, here's the I have no problem with Universal being on Disney level, right? That'd be great because that means for us theme park fans, we get more high quality stuff, right?
Right.
But then you also had at the same time as a fan, you have to treat it as such. If you're going to say Disney, if you're going to say Universal is on Disney's level, then act like it, because a lot of times they're not.
Well, that's the thing, and I've said it so many times, Eva. You hit the nail on the freaking head, brother. Like it's like, okay, so Universal is on par with Disney. Okay, if we're gonna take that as fact, if you believe that, fandom, it's the same level as Disney, then when Universal shits the bed, you can't fall back on, well, they're not Disney, so give them a pass. No. If they're on par with the Mouse House, they get held to the standard of the Mouse House.
Yep.
And that's what really frustrates me. It's like people want to have it both ways. So when they do a great thing like Epic Universe, oh man, they're Disney. Okay, cool. They're Disney now. So when they shit the bed, like with the Minions stuff they're doing over there in studios and half-ass it, then call them out for it. No, well, they're not on Disney's level, so we give them no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work like that.
Well, it's like sorry, but it's like Centennial Park in Toontown. They're putting the park back in theme park, or celebration was a world celebration over in Epcot. God, man, dude, when that came out, man. Oh, let me tell you something, man. Mike, you were watching this whole thing, man. Dude, people were having diarrhea with world celebration. They were just like, oh, how dare they? Where's the fucking water fountain? Like this is a travesty. No fucking water fountain. It's like it's a park to relax. Like you don't want a water fountain blasting your eardrums away when you're like trying to sit down and have a fucking meal. It's like so obvious. But again, these are people that like are not there. You know what I mean? And then you go there and ask George. Dude, George was there last night. He was there last night with Jack from DSNY Newscast. Ask George what he thinks about World Celebration. I don't even know what his answer is, but I guarantee you it's not, man, it sucked. You know what I mean?
Right.
We'll see. And the thing too, right, is like with Toontown, right, when that first opened, because obviously Toontown had a lot of problems when it opened up, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful like part. I really love the new Toontown, but there was a lot of construction that they had to redo stuff because they rushed it because of the weather and whatnot to make that
Right.
deadline. But then when Super Nintendo World opened, there was some OG, as you point out, like there was some broken stuff or missing stuff from there, but that wasn't really mentioned at all.
Yeah,
But
the sight lines.
exactly. But then
Yeah.
people were all over Toontown about everything. So it's
Well,
like,
and
well,
that
guys, if they're the same, treat it as such.
yeah, there were a lot of issues with Super Nintendo World here in Hollywood with kind of shoddy construction work that they still haven't addressed, by the way. And I hear a lot of people talk shit about Toontown, and I get it. Toontown's got issues, but at least
Yes.
Disney walled things off and were addressing things. Look, you can make the argument that it shouldn't have been that in the first place, and I get that, and I would agree with you.
Mhm.
But at least they're fixing it, though. It's like a person going through personal issues, right? Like, yes, it's like, okay, you shouldn't have been a drug addict, but at least you cleaned your life up, right? Same idea. Yes, you shouldn't have had the broken fountain in the first place, but at least you're fixing it. Universal's not even fixing it. The hills are still dented as fuck. There's shoddy construction all over the place in that land, and it's not being addressed. Now, from what I understand, I think Theme Park Wizard was saying that I think this month or next month, I think next month, they're going to start addressing those things, which is fantastic. But it's been a year now. You know what I'm saying? It's been a freaking year now, and no one has held Universal's feet to the fire with that. If that was Disney, if Disney let that go on for a year, it would have been hell to pay. You know what I'm saying? And this is the company, Universal, that fans are saying is now on Disney's level. So let's start treating Universal. And then I hear a lot of fans talking about, well, Disney's got a lot of hubris. They think they're invincible, right? They think they can't do no wrong, and that's bad. I would agree with you. But you're fostering the same kind of hubris with Universal when you never criticize them, when you never hold their feet to the fire, when you tell them you're okay, Universal, you can do what you want because we want to send the Mouse House a message.
Right.
That's not okay. When Universal feels like they can get away with murder, they will get away with murder. They will absolutely try to get away with murder. This is a multinational corporation in Comcast. If they can get away with cutting corners, they will. So hold their feet to the fire. You're fostering the same kind of arrogance that you hate about the Mouse House with Universal when you refuse to criticize them. And so many fans refuse to criticize. I was on Twitter today, and I was actually really impressed with the Epic Universe stuff. But I was like hesitant to even tweet about the things that I was concerned about.
Yeah.
Because people will come for me. Because you did. Oh, dude, totally. Like, you dare even question? Like, it's like, dude, it's okay to do that. And it's healthy, and it helps Universal too. You don't want them to think that fans will gladly take whatever they give you. You want to hold their feet to the fire, just like you do Disney.
Well, remember when we did that video, we pulled up how much Universal Studios Florida cost compared to Epcot, and Universal Studios was actually more expensive, despite the fact that one half of the park was closed for an entire hour. And you're comparing Universal Studios to Epcot, like it's not even a comparison, dude. I mean, that's like a Lamborghini versus a fucking Pinto. Don't get me wrong. I love Universal Studios, but that's like just one example. Like, take Halloween Horror Nights, for example. They oversell every single fucking night. All right, they're charging $100+ a ticket, and then you're going to spend $150 to $200 per express pass just so you can do all the houses. And don't get me wrong, the houses are great. The houses are immaculate. They use movie style production sets. I love it, but they're extorting the fuck out of people compared to what it used to cost not more than 15 years ago. So they're charging, 3, 4, 5 times, and don't quote me on this, but the rate of inflation. You used to be able to go to Halloween Horror Nights for like, $49.99, $59.99. And again, with Disney, like, if Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is too expensive, then vote with your wallet. I vote with my wallet when it comes to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Why? Because they've been doing the same fucking thing since 2003. It's the same shit every fucking year. I don't go to it. You know what I mean? You're going to charge me what? You're going to charge me $100 something to watch a parade? And, like, no. Like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Disney. Like, Mickey's not so scary. And you know who will tell you this? People that have been to DCA during Halloween will tell you how much better it is than Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and that's kind of how you know you're getting gypped.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing too, man, a couple things on this, right?
Yeah, let's go, bro.
Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Let's
Let's just go for it. Right?
All the way, dude.
All the way. All the way. Here's the thing. I see a lot of people talking about accusing Disney of these horrible things, brainwashing your children and the whole thing, right? And then those people are like at Disney. It's like, okay, so you believe that they're doing these heinous acts. The Mouse House is doing these heinous acts, and yet you're still giving the Mouse House your money. Now, I don't think they're doing that, but I'm at Disney because I don't think they're doing that. But if I believe what you claim they're doing, I wouldn't be at Disney. Right. Like, how do you accuse Disney of these heinous acts? The G word, right? We know what that is and all that. And you're still going to go to fucking Disney? Like, right. Why would you do it? If you really believe your allegations against the Mouse House, why are you still there? Why do you still go to Disney? It makes no sense to me. I don't get it. And then number two, like Universal Hollywood, right? They opened, or they're opening this new Power Up Cafe. Awesome. Yeah. I made a tweet about it. It looks fantastic. It really does.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks really, really good. It's
you know how many pictures you're going to see of people going?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know what? I actually have a, hold on one sec. I can't miss this opportunity. You just set it up.
There we go.
There we go. But it looks so good. I'm not going to lie. It looks so good. It's on the New York street, I think, in Universal Hollywood. Fantastic. But here's the thing. They're building this extra Mario thing outside of Nintendo World because they underbuilt Nintendo World. It's too freaking small.
OG, remember I was talking to you, I was asking you, because again, Slimer, I haven't been there yet, but I was like, OG, it looks really small, dude.
It's super small. So they're going to build these ancillary shops for the Nintendo stuff because demand is so high and they underbuilt the original land. Fine, I get it. They're addressing it. Kudos to them. But could you imagine if Disney were to underbuild something and have to compensate with ancillary stores to offset the underbuilt land? Oh, God, it'd be all over Twitter, all over YouTube. It would be crazy. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's such a double standard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. It's a double standard, and it's kind of ridiculous. Like, everybody just needs to take a chill pill, calm the fuck down, you know, smoke some weed. You know what I mean? Just calm down. Like, it's cool. It's all right. Yeah. Just stop typing, buy a ticket, go to the fucking park, chill the fuck out.
Exactly. It's like that old song, smoke weed every day. Exactly.
Well, see, actually, here's the thing, like, right, is like, I'm curious, when you're at the parks, whether Universal or Disney, right? How many of those people are like online talking shit about Disney? But they're still there, right? I'm really curious about that. Like, oh, fuck Disney, you know, Universal better or whatever. But then they're like at the park with their mouse ears and their backpack and everything, you know, getting the churro and shit. So,
yeah, come on. You're talking shit on Twitter. You got a fucking Spirit jersey and a Mickey Mouse Loungefly. Come on. Come on.
I'm just here for the subs, bro. I'm just here for the subs. I hate this, but you know, the subs.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck the Mouse House, man. Fuck them. Yeah, but here's $2,000 on the fucking Walt Disney World vacation. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, you guys. If you don't like it, don't go. That's how and that goes for any company, dude. Yeah. Like, if a company is not providing you a service that you're happy with, you absolutely need to vote with your wallet, and Disney included. If Disney's not up to what you like, up to a standard that makes you happy, you should absolutely vote with your wallet. You know, I mean, that's essential, because not only is it better for you, you're saving money, but it's also better for the company, because they hear, believe me, they hear that message loud and clear. When you vote with your wallet, they hear that loud and clear, and that's when you see real change. The problem is that no one votes with their wallet. The loudest people talking about woke Disney or Disney bad, or the Disney's declining like crazy are the ones that are still going all the time. 누구에게나 공평하게 추악해.